Good morning. It's 10 o'clock. Welcome to Lincoln Ware Live. We're here every Sunday morning from 10 until 11. Got a great show for you today. The first half of the show, we've got Shannon, Nixson, and Arnold Culbreath. We'll talk to them about a situation down at the YWCA with them. And then on the second half of the show, we've got attorney Lisa K. Crawford. We'll recap the past year. We'll recap 2007 and look ahead to 2008 on the second half of the show with attorney Lisa K. Crawford. To start off the show this morning, I want to welcome Shannon Nixson and Arnold Culbreath. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Now, you are the director of the Urban Outreach and Protecting Black Life, or Protecting Life? Which one?
Protecting Black Life.
Protecting Black Life.
Yes.
And Shannon, you worked for the YWCA. What was your position there?
I was a case manager.
Case manager at the YWCA. Okay, tell us, who wants to start? What actually happened with you, with your termination? She was fired from the YWCA, and now we'll find out why.
Okay. Well, I worked for the YWCA for 5 months, and I was a case manager. One of my responsibilities there was to invite speakers in to address the ladies. We dealt with employment and literacy type issues, but one section of the program was to deal with health and wellness topics. So I used one of my resources, Mr. Culbreath, invited him to talk about his Protecting Black Life, present his presentation about pro-life issues. It offers an alternative to abortion, and as a result, I was terminated.
Okay, so you were terminated because you had a person in there to give an alternative to abortion.
Yes.
And so what did you say in your speech? I mean, what kind of presentation did you give that will result in her firing?
Well, one of the things we do in our presentation is we present the listeners with the broad picture relative to abortion, particularly in the Black community. We invite them to connect with resources if they're having post-abortive problems or negative repercussions as a result of their abortion decisions. And so it's interesting because she wasn't so much fired because of the content of what we presented. I think there was another agenda behind
and what do you
her
think,
firing.
What was that agenda?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty well known, not as well known as it needs to be, but it's well known that the YWCA is a pro-abortion organization. That's their mindset.
Well, what is the mission of the YWCA?
They say their mission is to eliminate racism and empower women. The YWCA stands for Young Women Christian Association, so that's what they...
And so it seems like they would be pro-life.
You would think so.
You would think so. But you're saying that their mission is to maybe, they're pro-abortion.
Yeah.
Now, what would make you think that?
Well, I mean, if you're saying that you're pro-choice, that sounds like you're open to hearing all of the choices and then making your decision.
Make a choice. Here are the two sides.
Exactly.
Now you make the choice.
Exactly.
But you're saying they only want to give you one side, get the abortion.
That's the way it seems.
And your organization is dead set against it because you're saying there's too many Black babies being aborted.
Too many.
What are the numbers?
Well, the national numbers are, since 1973, when abortion was legal with the Roe v. Wade decision, over 14 million Black babies have died by abortion.
14 million.
Over 14 million. That's right. That's 425,000 per year. That's over 35,000 per month. That's approximately 1,200 Black babies that die by abortion every day in the United States.
But and then on the other side, though, you hear people saying, well, that's why we have so many problems in the Black community now. Too many young girls are having babies and they can't raise them. So then you get that other argument there. And how do you respond to that?
Well, I do agree that there are some significant problems in the Black community. That's why Protecting Black Life links up with other agencies that teach abstinence, that teach responsibility and those kinds of things to help curtail some of the problems that we're having. But it's certainly not a viable solution, in my professional opinion, to kill that baby because we got problems in our society.
What did the YMCA say to you? I mean, the YWCA say to you when they said, "Okay, we no longer need your services"? What was their reason?
Well, that's exactly what they said. We are deciding to end our relationship with you because it seems like you don't fit into our mission. And when I inquired about, was it job performance or did I do something wrong? The only issue they brought up is bringing in Mr. Culbreath.
Really?
And also to add to what you were saying about people say that's a problem with young women having children, that's another reason why I thought he would be a good speaker, because it's not so much that young women are having a lot of babies, but they need to be informed about the statistics and also change their habits so they won't get in that situation.
There you go. All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll give you a chance to give us a call and get your opinions on this. 513-381-3838. That's the phone number. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back. 513-381-3838. Give us a call. We'll be back in a moment. We're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. We're back, and I've got Shannon Nixson, Arnold Culbreath with us, and you be the judge. Was she, did she no longer fit into the mission of the YWCA? She had a person in to talk about pro-life, and they said, hey, we can't have that here. You're out. You're fired because you had them in here telling people not to have abortions. That's what it seems like to me. We'll hear from you. Let's start things off this morning with Tracy. Tracy, good morning. You're on Lincoln Ware Live. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good. I just wanted to say hi to Shannon because I had met her before. She was working directly with my daughter, Whitley. You remember that?
Yes. Yes.
She remembers.
How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to know, what did they want you to do different if you were to express your view, if they thought it was counter to their program?
What was the question again? Tracy, what was your question again? We didn't understand the question.
Oh, they said that her presenting her view by bringing in the gentleman was contrary to their mission. What else could she have done different, or did they ask her or inform her what she could have done different to express the alternate view?
Okay, thanks for your call. What do you think?
They didn't give me an alternative. I basically thought I was fulfilling my responsibilities by bringing in a good resource to speak to to address the women about a topic that I felt that they could definitely identify with. So they didn't give me an alternative to what could happen.
All right, let's go to Bernadette. Bernadette, how are you?
Hey, Lincoln, how are you? And hello and good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Of course they had a place for her, but they didn't want her to continue to be there because the mentality is like to get you to abort yourself. People don't understand that, you know, what we say and believe about ourselves hurts us. To get you to have an aborted mentality or an aborted mindset begins when you no longer see yourself fit to play a part in this society. You know, and you know, a lot of people get mad, but when you participate in a system like this, I like to call it the Judeo-Hebrew Christian covenant because it says, let them forever have a miscarrying womb. So if they begin to teach you how to miscarry your mind, meaning your mentality is always waiting and hoping for somebody to come and save you, never coming into the knowledge of yourself. Well, a miscarrying mind will eventually make you begin to hate yourself because you don't see yourself progressing.
Okay,
and because Shannon brought to the table an alternative that, hey, there is hope and we can progress and we can reach society in a different way and we can do something different.
You're preaching, Bernadette. Thanks for your call. She goes into preaching every Sunday morning. We've had our services. Can we open the doors of the church for Bernadette? And let's pass the plate. Unbelievable. Let's go to Eric. Eric, then Mary. Eric, how you doing?
All right, how you doing, Lincoln?
Pretty good.
And guest, I really appreciate the young woman coming up and making her situation known. And I hope that we will be able to, as a people, expose more of the organizations that say that they are for pro-life or say that they're for the advancement of black people. And because I know, you know, that overall we as a people suffer the most when it comes down to infant mortality and also through abortion.
Did you hear those numbers that he gave out on?
It's outrageous.
Yeah,
it is outrageous.
It's outrageous. It's morally, just morally shows a deficit in the mindset of black folks, and it also should show that we do have open enemies against our eventual rise as a people through our children, which is our future.
Right.
So I would hope that your guests would continue to expose other organizations that have always, since we became slaves over here, that regulated our life, our newborn's life, and our future, or tried to regulate our future through the killing of our babies.
Now, thanks for your call, Eric. Now, next week, I will call the YWCA and give them an opportunity to come on here and refute what you're saying, but I doubt whether they will.
I hope
but
they
we
take
will.
you up.
I doubt whether they will.
I've called them 6 times and not gotten any response, and written a letter.
Okay. Well, I doubt whether they'll come on, but I'll give them the opportunity anyway. We will extend that opportunity. Good morning, Mary. How are you?
Good morning, and how are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing all right, too. You are looking handsome again, and I see you got on brown today. You say I can't tell the colors, but you got on a pretty brown and it look good on you.
Okay.
I want to say about, I think it's the thing of, I think we all should read the writing on the wall. Because
what does the writing on the wall say?
It tells us it's genocide.
Yes,
you
it
know, they don't want the preemies to survive, and they don't want the young women, black women, to produce. And even in Africa, it's genocide. You know, genocide. They with the AIDS and all that. Everywhere where it's dark people, they don't want us to survive. So we have to have sense.
Well, Arnold
and keep
says
on producing, because we are beautiful people.
Thank you, Mary. Arnold says that there's more babies being aborted than people are dying from AIDS.
Exactly.
People are dying from AIDS.
Abortion is the leading cause of death in the black community. Higher than AIDS, higher than violent crimes, higher than accidents, higher than cancer, higher than heart disease. You can stack all of those up on top of each other and not come close to the 14 million black babies that have died to abortion.
Wow. Now, you know, my theory is, and a lot of people don't agree with what I say here, but I think we should have mandatory birth control from age 12 through 18.
Wow.
You know, just give them a shot, give them the patch when they turn 12. Then when they're 18, you know, all bets are off.
Well, that's interesting you say that, but the interesting thing about birth control, and I know that's not the primary point of this episode, right, but that just kind of opens the door for them to continue practicing sex outside of marriage.
Right.
I mean, the most safe sex
if they're doing it anyway,
abstinence.
and then they're aborting the babies, what are you losing?
Well,
what are you losing?
It's interesting. Speaking of abortion, you know, in the black community, there seems to be a higher view on aborting your baby rather than placing your baby for adoption when you carry it to term.
But if you look at the adoption rates, the black babies are always the last ones being adopted.
Well, one of the things that they're noticing in the adoption world, if I can put it that way, is that less and less, or fewer and fewer black families are coming to the table expressing real interest in adopting.
Yeah. And then now, even there was a time when you would find white families adopting black babies. Now they're going to China and all these other places to adopt, and the babies here in America are going unadopted. Let's go to Tracy. Tracy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Ware. My question is to Shannon. I see that Mr. Culbreath was coming there to do the presentation. However, it seems like she would have told someone else that he was going to be there, and they would have known what he was going to talk about. And I just feel like, Shannon, you should dig a little deeper on why they truly fired you.
Okay, did you tell them he was coming? Did they know what he was going to talk about?
Yes, they were aware that he was coming to present his presentation.
Because I think it was a good, topic, because people do need to know the statistics on what's going on, because it is affecting the black community.
Right, and Tracy, it wasn't the participants that listened to the presentation that had an issue. It was the management of the YWCA. Shannon and I have both talked to several of the women that were in the presentation, and they were appalled that they let Shannon go.
Oh, my God. Well, just keep working on it.
Definitely.
Because I'm sure it's, our black people, we really do need you. So just keep on your mission and find another place where God is going to use you, because apparently they're not putting the Most High first.
Definitely.
All right, thanks for your call.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come right back. The phone number, 513-381-3838. We'll take a quick break, and we'll return to Lincoln Ware Live. Don't forget the second half of the show, Lisa K. Crawford coming up. Back in a moment. And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. We've got Shannon Nixson, Arnold Culbreath with us. Shannon was fired from the YWCA. She brought Arnold Culbreath in to talk about pro-life. And I guess the people at the YWCA didn't like it. And they fired Shannon after he came in to speak to the women at the YWCA. And what's next? Are you planning on a lawsuit against the YWCA, or what's your next step?
I'm keeping my options open as far as exploring the legal action.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure what that will be as of yet, but definitely want to get the make people aware of what happened, of the injustice that's happening, because you know, it was an injustice to me, but it's also an injustice to the women, because they're losing a different alternative, a different side of a point of view and whatnot. And, you know, I believe that I did the right thing, because 3 women had the chance to choose life after hearing his presentation. So this was all well worth, you know.
Now, before you brought Arnold in, now, did you have like yearly reviews on your work and things like that? Did they have and how were those reviews?
Before Mr. Culbreath came, I had an unofficial, it wasn't a formal work performance evaluation, and everything was fine. They basically just asked me how I liked the job, and we talked about different things of how we can improve the program or whatnot, but there were no, before he came, there was no work performance evaluations or whatnot.
90-day notice or putting you on probation or anything like that?
Well, I was still within my probationary period because I was in the it was 180 days probationary period. So I was at will, of course, but before that, no.
Okay. All right, let's go to Fred. Fred, good morning. You're on Lincoln Ware Live. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Good morning.
Good morning.
And I guess what you just addressed is what I'd like to know, is the show about the fact that she was released, or is the show about what the topic was?
Well, the show is both. The topic is apparently why she was released. So it's like both of them.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yes.
She brought him in to talk about pro-life, and no sooner than he finished his pro-life presentation, they said she didn't fit into their mission, and they fired her. But before that, they didn't have any problem with her.
Well, okay, now first off, she was on probation, so that kind of makes it sticky. And then the second point is, if on probation, then, like a earlier caller said, to clear the type of presentation it would be, would have been the best thing to do, because on probation, I'm still trying to find my way into what the organization's mission is.
And she said she did clear it.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She cleared it.
Okay, so that's the job part of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, when you get to the abortion part of it, I am sure that they had problems with the terminology and attitudes of Mr. Culbreath. I mean, he's called it death several times. And if I'm a
the pro-life people, well, that's what they do. Pro-life people, they call it murder. They call it, that's what, I mean, that's just part of their, that's just part of their thing.
But if I'm trying to keep it pro-choice, I really don't want it to be shaded so black and white death, so that now everybody who's hearing the talk is influenced, where, we said earlier, we're talking pro-choice here.
Influenced to choose life for their babies, which 3 of them did. They had abortions scheduled, chose life, did not go through with the abortions as a result.
And that is their choice. That is their choice.
Absolutely.
And it's also the choice of the YWCA to try not to make it so gloom and doom, even though from your professional opinion it is gloom and doom. They didn't want that attitude, that pervasive feeling to be part of their program.
Well, then they should have told her, no, we don't think he'll fit into what we're doing. Don't let him come in. Let's not invite him. Yeah. They should have told her that when she told them he was coming and what he was talking about.
Right.
They didn't say anything. They said they gave their approval.
And one of the things that's interesting is when I give my presentations, it's never a gloom and doom kind of thing. Now, the numbers themselves cause you to focus on gloom and doom, but that's not the tenor or flavor of our presentations. It's not a beatdown session or anything. What African Americans need to realize is how serious this issue is. I mean, in Hamilton County alone, Hamilton County is 23% African American. That's women and men. But in Hamilton County, African Americans are having 52% of the abortions. And you can run those numbers nationally, and at Protecting Black Life we have, and you'll find that those percentages are just as disproportionate. And I am not arguing with the statistics or the abortion. My point is, you know, you've got two avenues going here. The right for me to, as a worker, to bring in an opposite opinion to what my program believes, and then the fact that once I do that, they are upset to the point that they let me go. You know, somewhere between me saying, Mr. Culbreath, come talk, and me being released, there should have been, on both sides, some type of communication.
Well, but is he opposite of what they believe in? If they believe in a choice, he's giving them a choice.
Yeah.
So is he really the opposite of what they believe in?
Well, I think so. I think Mr. Culbreath said at the start that, you know, whether or not it's known by enough people, it is known that their position is this.
And also, they say their mission is to empower women and eliminate racism. I believe the best way to empower a people is to educate them about all sides of every issue. If you're not fully educated about every topic, how can you make a sound decision?
And I agree. And I guess my point is the avenue to present, in their opinion, it was not their place to present
Fred, let me see if I can be even more clear. Shannon went to her director and talked to her director about sticky topics, one of which is abortion. The director told her that you can bring in presenters that can deal with these topics, including abortion, providing it's not a YWCA staff member that is doing the presenting. Yeah. She fulfilled her side of the scenario that you're presenting.
Fred?
Yes.
Well, it sounds like you're stuck.
No. I guess what I'm trying to visualize.
Quickly.
Okay, what I'm trying to visualize is a situation where they allow me to bring in whomever I like, and I clear it with them. And at the point in time that we have the presentation, that it becomes so conflicted, if that's the word, that okay, now that was too rough for us.
So you're saying if Arnold's presentation had been a little more toned down, a little more vanilla, then she'd still have her job.
And it's not so much vanilla, but more mainstream if they're trying to stay mainstream and not go either one way or the other.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I mean, it's worth listening to. Thanks for your call, Fred.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. I mean, he makes a good point. Maybe your presentation was a little more than what they bargained for. I don't know. But still, they gave her permission to bring you in.
Yes, they did.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
That is the bottom line. So when are you getting unemployment? What did the unemployment people say?
I have filed for unemployment. They determined that I was fired unjustly. So that speaks for itself in and of itself.
Okay. Well, we wish you the best of luck on this. And like I say, I will contact the YWCA people and see if they want to come on the show to give their side of the story.
Yes.
And I kind of doubt whether they will, but we'll give them the opportunity to do so. And
we'd be willing to come on with them.
We'll present that to them also. Sir. We'll present that to them. Good luck in whichever, whatever you decide to do with this. But it sounds to me like you might have a case. But the only question is the probationary period. That might be their strong point right there. Right. She didn't pass the probation.
Well, what's interesting is, like Fred was the point he was raising. If the presentation they felt was problematic, then why not pull her in and say, hey, let's do something different? That wasn't even discussed that she shared earlier.
Right. All right.
You gone.
Well, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having us.
And good luck. Let us know. Keep us informed. Let us know what happens with that. And we might have to have you back again.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining me. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back. Attorney Lisa K. Crawford will recap 2007, some of the top stories. While we're in break, I want you to think of some of your top stories of 2007. Call in, give them to us, and we'll evaluate whether they deserve to be ranked. Back in a moment. And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. And as promised, the second half of the show is here. And none other than Lisa K. Crawford. It's always good to see you, Lisa K.
You too, Lincoln Ware. Good to be here.
And it's always good for you to fill in for me when I'm gone. You do an excellent job.
Thank you. I like it.
And I tell you, we're coming to the end of 2007. And probably some of the top stories will be maybe the passing on of the Cincinnati Post. We no longer will have two newspapers in this town. And if you check out the Inquirer today, they've got a big section in the forum there about the passing on of the Post. And that'll probably be one of the top stories of 2007. One of the other ones, the Slaby case where she left her baby in the car.
Brenda Nessel wrote Slaby. That definitely has to be one of the top stories here for 2007. That was August 07. And remember, August 06.
August 06 was the Marcus Pfizer.
Yeah,
so a lot of bad things happened to kids in August, seems
here
like.
in Hamilton County, it looks
and
like.
there was fallout in 07 from the Pfizer case with the foster parents and the new rules and how they were running checks on them.
Exactly.
That's a top story. I would say probably the banks finally getting the T's crossed and the I's dotted on the Banks project will be a big story.
There was a ribbon cutting already on that. It was, no, I don't think. Was there?
Well, it's still up. They're supposed to have the groundbreaking in 2008.
Okay.
Let's hope so. But anyway, that was a big story. Just getting that
That's a big story every year.
Yes. And then I guess maybe a new tall building is, the news of the tallest building in Cincinnati that's going to be taller than the Crew Tower.
Wow.
Pretty big story. I guess you could say the Bengals not having a winning season, a big story. Dusty Baker being hired by the Reds.
That's huge.
A big story.
Yes.
So now we've got a black manager for the Reds, a black head coach for the Bengals, and they're both losing teams.
What's up with that?
I don't know if I like that or not. But there's a lot of stories. Maybe we missed some. If you want to call in with your top story for 2007, the phone number 513-381-3838. Let's go to the telephones. Let's go to Mike. Mike, how are you?
All right. How you doing?
Pretty good. What's your question? What's your story?
About 2007.
Say what?
About 2007.
I can't. You're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
You're coming in and out. Try it one more time.
Hello.
Okay, we'll just move on. Let's go to Ward. Ward, how are you?
Good morning to you and your guests.
Good morning.
Okay, Lincoln, I agree with you, too. She does do a good job for you when she's not there.
Oh, yeah, I can relax. When I know Lisa K. Crawford is here, I just don't have any worries at all. I know she'll handle the show and do a great job.
And no pun intended, but she also a little better looking, too.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, to you, I hope she's better looking, Now, maybe Miss Mary won't agree with
Miss Mary will not agree with
well,
me.
yeah, I hear you. It'll be about a tie, I guess.
I know. Miss Mary loves
But what I
looking.
call for, one of my stories, and y'all didn't mention it, and I'm not going to put Miss Crawford in this mix, but me as an African-American male, the attacks on the attorneys you know, in Cincinnati. That's kind of a story in itself.
Yeah, you had Ken Lawson,
right,
Clyde Bennett, and yeah, you're right. Two of the top defense lawyers in town.
That hurts.
They're no longer around.
Right, and it's sad because, I mean, you know, you need representation here, and and the representation that we have is just being undone.
Yes.
So,
and while you're talking about that, I have a question for you. In the paper yesterday, Lisa, they had quoted Clyde Bennett saying they wanted me to snitch, and I wouldn't snitch. Now, how can they ask you to say, if these guys were your clients, how can they ask you to snitch on them? What about the client-lawyer privilege?
That's the problem that I have with the whole situation against Clyde Bennett, because they're talking about illegal, you know, money structuring, how you make your bank deposits. But I believe on those forms you have to disclose the source of where you got those funds. That is the problem, and that's probably what the attorney did not want to do, because that does get into confidentiality issues. And why does the federal government need to know? That's what I question. What is the purpose? If he's paying taxes on the money he's depositing, so be it. So I just don't understand why Clyde Bennett is facing 2 years, except that this judge didn't like that he didn't, quote unquote, cooperate.
Yes.
well, again, I just want to say, you know, she does do an excellent job, and I hope she can give her number out on the air, because with my two brothers gone, I guess she was my next choice.
Oh, boy.
Before I get some assistance in the future.
Ward, thanks for your call.
Okay, y'all have a great day.
All right, let's go to Melvin. Melvin, how are you?
Yes. How you doing, Lincoln?
Pretty good. What's up?
I got a top story, man. Steve Martin gave my baby 2 years for robbing the banks. You know, I know my baby made a mistake or whatnot doing that, you know. And that was a lapse of judgment. But 20 years, come on, you got to do that day for day. You got guys out here and shot folks and kill folks for lesser time than that.
Okay, now hold on. Your son was one of the two college students that robbed the bank for tuition.
Yeah.
And they got 20 years, and you're saying that people who murder don't get that much time in some cases.
Right. You got
make a good point. But they were.
Folks, you got folks here in Cincinnati that shot an executioner down only did 8 years. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I hear what you're saying. That's a good point. Thanks for your call. I don't know whether Steve Martin was sending a message, or I don't know, was 20 years too stiff for armed robbery? They actually robbed two places. The first place, they didn't get any money. They actually fired shots at the check cashing place, and you walk into a bank armed. I don't know.
I think it's a tough sentence, Lincoln. It definitely is, and he's right. I mean, even on murder, basically on an F1, you're looking at a max of 10 years. It can be enhanced by using guns and things like that. But on the whole, that's a very harsh sentence. And what I don't like about Hamilton County, these young men should be given an opportunity before the end of 20 years. If they file motions for judicial release, early release after doing the minimum mandatory time, I think the court should strongly consider granting those motions when there are no prior criminal records.
Okay, what's the minimum mandatory?
And let me see, he has a 20-year sentence. There's a gun spec, so I know that's easily 3. Probably at least 3 years.
At least 3.
At least 3.
All right. Let's go to Aaron. Aaron, good morning. Aaron.
Hello.
Yes.
This is Alan.
Okay.
How you doing? I want to know this one. That same judge he talked about, Martin, I did 157 days for no reason at all. You know why? Because Martin said because I did not have proof where I was at, but yet the prosecution knew I was in a hospital on the 8th floor site floor, but yet they still tried to convict me. They tried. Martin do not have common sense.
What was your crime? What was your crime?
I was supposed to have bought a car with counterfeit money. I asked them to let me, but guess what? Prosecution had proof that I was in the site floor on the 8th floor secure. And yet I was almost convicted because one of my attorneys took and said, well, plead guilty and they'll drop it to a misdemeanor. Yeah. I did 157 days for no reason.
All right, thanks for your call.
That's tough.
You hear that a lot, where these prosecutors want to make a deal instead of fighting in court.
Well, it sounds like he had an alibi. He said he wasn't there at the time and place of the alleged crime. He was in a hospital or a psych ward, so I don't know what went wrong there, but maybe his lawyer felt that it wouldn't add up if it was tried.
Now, Brenda Slavey, people look at that and say she didn't get any time at all.
I know.
And that was probably the biggest story. I guess they terminated her, their job. They made an agreement, and she's going to get paid from there, I guess. They paid her out her contract, I guess. But everybody, most of the people I talked to thought she should have done some type of jail time for that crime committed, but that will probably be ranked in the top 3 stories of the year here
probably,
in this area.
And maybe even on a regional or a national basis, because it got those kind of headlines. And Lincoln, it doesn't seem right. She actually discovered a legal loophole. If you forget that your baby's in the car and the baby dies, you're safe.
That's
I mean,
the legal.
that's the message that it sends.
Right. So now, anytime that happens, people are going to say, I forgot.
Exactly.
And
I mean,
they're going to use that as a case. I mean, if you had a client, if you had a client that comes to you and said, well, I left my baby in the car, even if they did it on purpose and they want to get out of it, they tell you they forgot, you're going to represent them. You're going to bring this case up to the judge.
Exactly, because this case sets precedent. And you know how Hamilton County is, they change the rules when they get ready. Well, in this case, it's Claremont County, but Hamilton County, our prosecutor kind of went along with that, you know, the decision that was made by the Claremont County prosecuting attorney. I don't agree with it. It doesn't sit well with me.
Let's take a quick break. Lincoln Ware, Lisa K. Crawford. We're sort of like Regis and Kelly.
I like that.
It's 38. How about that? We'll take a break. We'll come right back to Lincoln Ware Live. Back in a moment. And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. Attorney Lisa K. Crawford. What's your phone number down there anyway?
513-651-4222.
All right. She's always available to help you out. And one of my big stories would be the jail tax in Hamilton County, how much money they spent to get that passed and how it went down to defeat. Also, them collecting all the signatures to get it on the ballot after the commissioners were going to just go ahead and put it in there anyway.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
I really like that.
I think that's one of the top stories of the year also.
You know why? Because it showed the people had a mind to work and get things done on behalf of the people, you know, the citizens, and that's what really counts. And I remember Todd Portune was on your show and I interviewed him about that. And I think he was very confident that it would not be put back on the ballot. But we see differently.
I tell you, yeah. And the smoking ban, that started in 2007.
That's awful.
The smoking ban, so.
I have a problem with that. You know, a lot of my husband is a musician, and a lot of his friends who were making a good living here in Cincinnati, they're all running across the river and other places because nobody's coming out like they used to because you can't smoke. Now, I heard you say you're happy about it.
Yeah, you know, I go home, my clothes don't smell like smoke. You know, you go to a bar and you come out and you just, you know, you reek of smoke.
But you were still hanging out, weren't
but
you?
Where else are you going to go? Everywhere you go, they were smoking, so it's either that or just stay home.
Right.
So, but now you can go out and just enjoy yourself, and you don't have to smell like smoke when you come home.
But a cigar bar, Lincoln, you can't smoke at a cigar bar?
Well, I don't even hang out there at those places, you know. Give me a break. All right, let's go to Percy. Percy.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great. You?
Pretty good. What's up?
Yes. One thing I wanted to talk about was the, I don't know if it's like a huge story, but one of the things that they had were the sheriffs being disbanded from service downtown and over the Rhine. Well, I mean, I guess it's like a bad thing in the sense that they were trying to revive, you know, Vine Street and Ray Street and Main Street, you know. And now they're gone. And, well, I mean, even since then, maybe even before then, there have been like 2 or 3 shootings. Vine Street, over the Rhine. We've had a robbery with minors. We've had
well, even employee of the radio station was robbed at gunpoint down there.
Right.
So you know, it's
pretty rough.
It's pretty rough, and they haven't officially pulled out yet of over there. They pull out, I guess, Monday is their last day.
Actually, I talked to the sheriffs down here. It's here at one of the elderly centers down here, and they've already moved out.
Have they? Okay. So now you can, I guess, I don't know whether it's because of the holiday season where we're getting all these shootings and everything down there, or is it because they have moved out? What do you think?
I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of a bit of both. Because you see people, you know, during the holiday season, they're getting new things and new TVs and all this good stuff. And then, you know, somebody who's less fortunate than them think that they can take what they want without repercussions. So, you know, you get that. And then when they see that nobody's around to make sure that you aren't around doing what you aren't supposed to be doing, then that gives them even more of a reason in their minds to go out and do it.
All right. Hey, Percy, thanks for your call.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate
Happy holidays.
Same to you. Thanks for your call. What about the firing of the police officers that were goofing off on the job there? You know, in some people's mind, I mean, these guys...
What were they doing again?
They were supposed to walk the beat over in Hyde Park. They were put there as a punishment anyway. And they just stayed in the police substation playing video games, watching TV, and eating.
No, that's what kids do
when
they're
did
on
that
punishment.
They did that for like a couple of months. But the strange thing about this case, it wasn't citizens calling in. It was other police officers who dropped a dime on them. So that's a big deal there.
So blue is no longer backing
That's right.
blue
When you got police officers
Nintendo.
complaining, you know there's a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
When they're complaining about each other, there's a problem.
They should be disciplined. I mean, they have a very serious job, and it should never look like they're goofing off.
But you had one guy fired. He'll probably get his job back. The other ones demoting. They were demoted. It probably won't stick. We got a strong FOP contract in here, and they'll all probably be back at work within a few months. Let's go to Denise, then Lil, Cheryl, and others. Denise.
Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. God bless you too. Listen, I want to know. You guys were talking about Clyde Bennett and the other lawyer.
Yeah, we were talking about the top stories of 2007, and I guess you could rank that as a top story. We lost two high-profile defense attorneys, both black, in the city in 2007. Yes.
Yes, and unfortunately, that they are black as far as being the lawyers and having to go through this ordeal, what they had to go through. But sometimes, you know, I'm gonna say this. The old saying is, sometimes when you do things in the dark, it's gonna come to light. You know, and again, like I said, unfortunately, the reason why I'm saying this is because Clyde Bennett was a lawyer of a young man that I know, Jamie Mitchell, back in, I believe it was 2005. And he did not do his job for this young man. And this young man was accused of beating old people and robbing them. Now, he was there, and the one old lady had came in that he did, his partner held down.
Okay,
and
try to make it quick now. We can't recap the whole case.
Okay, well, she told the lawyer, told the judge, said, Judge, all he did was held us down. 60 years is too long.
Boy.
They gave him 60 years.
It is, boy, that's a lot of time for, but why was he even holding a lady down so she could be beat up?
Well,
I mean, why even put yourself in that situation?
And that's true, and I understand that. I don't condone that.
Yes.
But, you know, his friend was the I'm gonna say the person who did it all, and he had a gun to him. He said, "Look, man, this is what you got to do."
Yeah. Okay.
But under the circumstances, nevertheless, 60 years is too long. That's crazy.
I hear you.
But anyway, you guys, God bless. Continue doing what you do.
All right, Denise. Thanks for your call. Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know, lawyers can only do so much. We are the attorneys. We don't actually make the decisions. You know, we can make appeals and things like that when we feel that the judge has been unfair. But I think a lot of times lawyers get a bad rap because of what judges do.
Yeah.
So I wish people would just keep that in perspective.
The lawyer should have been a better lawyer. You know, they get upset.
We're on your side. We're trying to fight for our clients.
One other case that crosses my mind is the case where the boy, the girl was pregnant. Come to find out, it was his cousin that he got pregnant, and he beat her, stomped her, and she lost the baby.
Yes.
Remember that case?
Yes, that was 2007.
Yes, it was.
I almost forgot about that one.
Yeah.
That was an awful case.
That was a bad case.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's go to Walter real quick. Walter.
Real quick, excuse me. Yeah, hey Lincoln, you look good on TV, man.
Well, thank you, Walter.
Got a nice suit on and everything, all groomed up there. Listen to you on the radio all the time.
Yes.
I just want to say, whether you're black or you're white, if you're an attorney, you're either a good attorney or a crooked person. It has nothing to do with black or white. You know what I mean?
Okay, Walter. Thanks for your call. We appreciate that in 2007. Lisa K. Crawford, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Lincoln. Glad to be here.
And I would say when it all shakes out, the Slaby case will be the top story in Hamilton County, in this area, for 2007.
And
What's
people,
your pick?
I would say people need to keep watching the sexual predator laws and statutes, making registration requirements tough for people who get convicted of sex offenses every 90 days, in some cases for the rest of your life, and that includes juveniles in some cases. So that's going to be tough on people.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll come back with the talk of the town to wrap things up for the final show of 2007 right here on Lincoln Ware Live. We'll take a quick break, and we'll return in just a moment right here on It's 38. Back in a moment. And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. And coming up at noon today on It's 38, American Latino presents Sonitos. Sonitos. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not good at the Spanish language, but Sonitos. No, Sonitos. Okay. And rebroadcast of this show, 8 o'clock tonight on Channel 25 WOTH. You don't want to miss that. And at 9 o'clock, following the rebroadcast of this show, New Year's on Ice. That's at 9 o'clock tonight. And don't forget, you can, if you missed some of the past episodes in 2007, just log on to WBQC.com, and then you can look at any of the shows we've had during the year 2007. So you don't want to miss that. Check me out Monday through Friday on 1230 The Buzz, WDBZ. I'm on from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m., 10 a.m. to 1, Monday through Friday. I don't think I'll be there Tuesday, but I'll be there every other day of the week, so make sure you check us out then. It's been a great 2007. My #1 goal for 2008, put pressure on Time Warner to put this channel on Time Warner. They're going to have to do it. They're going to have to buckle the pressure I'm going to put on them in 2008. That's going to wrap it up for me for this year, and I want to thank everybody for joining me throughout the year. Thank you, and we'll see you next year.